I'll try to be quite brief, and then we'll go to questions. I'll just give you a little background about who we are and why we're here, and just introduce the situation, and then show you about a 5-minute film which has the key evidence. A bit later. The key evidence that we're presenting today, and then I look forward to taking questions and giving you any further details. So very briefly about EIA. We've been around for 30 years. We're a non-profit funded by foundations that work on global environmental issues. We work on environmental crime. We investigate environmental crime around the world, which includes trade in endangered species, trade in dangerous chemicals particularly, and why we're here today, illegal logging and trade in that wood around the world and the products that are made from that wood. We came across this issue of illegal logging about 15 years ago. We were in Indonesia and trying to address the issue there of the national parks, and we found that all the hard work that was happening on the ground to protect the forests was being wasted, because what was not being focused on is the demand side. First law passed in the United States, and just this year that same principle is being implemented here in Europe. There's a new law in Australia, Japan is considering a new law, even China is beginning to talk about making it illegal to have illegal wood in the country. So the world is changing in this way. We, once we passed those laws, focused on actually tracking the wood, now that there were potential consequences. We had 2 cases in the United States, one against the most famous guitar company there called Gibson Guitars, who were importing illegal wood from Madagascar. And the second just last year with the biggest flooring retailer in the United States called Lumber Liquidators, who were a $3 billion company. When we published the report, they were raided by Homeland Security and the Customs Services in the United States, and they have since lost 2/3 of their value, about $2 billion. So we are seeing for the first time consequences for the most powerful companies in the world when they are found to have stolen illegal wood. We came to Romania really for self-evident reasons. We are now looking to focus on the places that are most endangered by illegal logging, that have the biggest problems. Your forest here in Romania is the last great forest of Europe. It is, most importantly, clearly has to be an incredibly important part of Romania's future, of its economic future. That being the case, and this is important, it being well known that illegal logging is an enormous problem in Romania, were the reasons why EIA came here. We've been doing an investigation for some time now, and we're continuing that investigation. But we felt it was very important to come forward now, earlier than planned, because we are aware of the extremely important political discussion you're having in this country about your forest code, about how the forest should be governed, should be managed, which is playing out all around the world and is an incredibly important moment. So we felt that this key information that we had found out about what the biggest company here in Romania is doing is very important to bring out while this discussion is still ongoing about your new forest law. And with that, I will play about a 5-minute video and then just make a brief comment and go to questions.
Romania is home to 2/3 of Europe's last months later.
So we discussed before, we have a situation where we have some contract that I find to be inflexible in terms of they say I can cut this amount this year. I'd like to cut not 3,000 in the first year, but about 6,000, for example. And I just need to have an off-take agreement that is going to So even if I'm limited by the contract with the community, 3,000, whatever, got another 3,000, another 4,000, that gets me to if I can produce more from those places, I can bring them here.
Schweighofer officials also offered to pay a bonus for the illegal wood.
You mentioned the potential bonus system.
We pay also the bonus if he delivers 3,000 and he signs for 2,000.
The fight against illegal logging is an uphill battle when the biggest exporters knowingly accept big bonuses for illegal wood.
Thank you. I think a key point for me to make is that we didn't come looking for this company. We came because it was clear that illegal logging is a great problem in Romania and it has one of the most important forests in the world. It was impossible not to find this company, and unfortunately it was impossible not to come to the conclusion that they are willingly accepting and offering bonuses for illegal wood. Maybe when one wants to see the impacts of illegal logging, you're thinking about the destruction in the forest, you're thinking about violence, you're thinking about guns, you're thinking about human rights violations, which is all true and which is happening around the world and which one can show. But this is the engine of illegal logging. In a business office with a conversation between one seller with a lot of money who says that he has a contract, a deal with a community that he doesn't like, he would like to sell more, and he just needs to know that that's okay. And the other side saying, don't worry, you are welcome, it's no problem. And the deal is made, and the laws are broken, and communities have their forests stolen. It might seem unspectacular, but it is the root of illegal logging. And if one does not find a way to stop the biggest companies offering willingly bonuses for illegal wood, we have seen around the world that it will be impossible to address illegal logging at home. It will be impossible to have a law that matters. It doesn't then really matter what the law is, because from the point of view of the international market and from the point of view of the big money that is being mobilized, the laws do not matter. The forest code does not matter. So my point would be that in this incredibly important moment where a forest code is being discussed, that it is very important. We will continue our work. This is an early release because we felt it was the responsible thing to do, but we will continue to work to make sure that those consequences happen. Thank you very much, and please ask any questions, and thank you for letting me speak in English. Have evidence that applies to a law, that we make sure that authorities have that information. We won't speak right now because we're really releasing this early to the specific authorities that we're talking to or to our assessment of what is likely to happen legally. I can say that this change that is happening to the laws around the world is clearly there for this purpose. The reason that laws are being changed is because of the understanding that if you can get away with breaking local laws and then making a lot of money without risk once you get out of the country, that is the problem. So we very much hope that these new laws will be helpful to this issue.
You are an oriented, I see. Sorry. You are a new.
Yes, we are a non-profit in yes.
What's your interest in protecting our forest? Because I guess you have to spend a lot of money for such an investigation.
We have, we receive our funding, as I said, from foundations that we have to convince we're doing a good job on some big global environmental issues. Clearly, deforestation is one of the challenges of our time. It's also important for the other major environmental challenge, climate change. But we have seen in our work on deforestation that it is so much more than that. It is about governance. It is about new democracies. It's about human rights. You know, forests are so many different things to so many different people. So for that reason, we have really dedicated a great amount of our work to this question of how can we improve as a global society the challenge of governing our forests. It's challenging everywhere. And as I said, the reason to come to Romania is obvious. It is the most important forest in Europe, and it has an extraordinary problem of illegal logging.
And Romania is the biggest problems from all Europe.